How to hedge an open profit. Hi, it's Charlie giving you for Saturday's video. I'm recording this Friday. So, yeah, how do you go about hedging when you're in an open profit? And so I'm just gonna give you some examples of that. Now, I'm looking at the pound dollar. Obviously, it's Friday afternoon. I'm recording this. The cable's already come off a little bit from its highs, so this wouldn't be an ideal example to use as a hedge. So I'm not going to use that, even though, of course, we're going into so-called Brexit weekend and finding out whether it's definite that it's a no-deal Brexit or not. So there's obviously scope for volatility there on the pound, but it's because it's already come off a bit now. That wouldn't be a very easy market to hedge. But let's pretend that it looked like this, the euro dollar here. So let's pretend that this is cable going into this weekend. So, and the first thing I would say is that you only really want to hedge if you're already in a considerable profit. So you don't want to start hedging as soon as you're up into a profit. So as soon as you're just into profit. So you would have to already be in a considerable profit. So let's pretend here that you've got long from somewhere down in this zone here, let's say. Okay, and so you've got a decent profit. Got in on this 118 whatever area, and we're sitting at 123. So you're sitting at best part of 300 pips profit, whatever. And so you're in a decent profit, and you've started to get some signals coming in. So let's say this is cable, and you've got Brexit weekend for starters. Maybe there's some divergences coming in. Price is still not that far away from its high. That's the main thing, but it's starting to stall out a little bit. So what you would do is, I think the one thing you must do is consider hedging as an insurance policy. Don't think of hedging as an necessarily outright making money. It's an insurance policy. So let's say you've got an open long position and you're long with, let's say, 4 lots. So you're 4 lots long and you're sitting in a nice open position. But your overall analysis, and this is the key point here, because your overall analysis is calling for higher prices. So your overall analysis is you have a projection further up, but you've got event risk here. Okay, it's this big Brexit stuff going on, and you've got event risk, and you've got some divergences coming in, and you're thinking, okay, well, maybe I should put a hedge in. Now, what you could do is just bank your profits, of course. Okay, so you could bank, excuse me, you could bank your profits and say, that's it, I'm done. Yep, fair enough. But then if it fires up and gaps up and fires up on, let's say, on Monday, then you miss out on the rest of your analysis and your trading profits, of course. But you've got this analysis for it to go higher. So what you could do is put, let's say, a 1 lot short in. So you're not trying to completely be hedged. I'll put 1 lots there. So you're not trying to be completely hedged. You might hedge maybe a quarter or so of your position. A quarter, sometimes a bit less than that. So you then sell 1 lot. So if it does come down, then you're going to be making a bit of money. Your open profits are still going to come down, but at least you've got a bit of a hedge there if it comes all the way down, okay, to wherever your stop loss may be. So the hedge is supposed to be just that. It's a hedge. It's an insurance policy. So don't necessarily try and make money out of the hedge. It can be that sometimes happens. Maybe it gets down so far and you decide, you know what, it's not that far from my stop loss now, so I'll close that out, bank the profit there. If it does go up from there, then I've made some profit on that, and then I carry on making profit on that. Now that's getting really clever. The way that I generally talk about hedging is to say, look, bring the pen back up. Let it come down and then move your stop down a little bit on your hedge to a point where you eventually get to maybe break even on your hedge if it's carried on coming down, and leave that until, if let's say your long positions, you've got a stop loss somewhere down here, and if you get stopped out on your longs, at least you make money on the hedge. So you've got stopped out on your longs, but you've made money on that 1 lot short. So that's really the way to think about it. Now, again, like I've said, you could argue, well, why not just bank your profits, knowing you've got event risk and whatnot? Absolutely, and certainly with the pound at the moment, I think I think that there's a lot of risk there with the pound. So I'm just trying to make up some examples of when to hedge. And so now you could put a larger hedge in, but and maybe hedge half of that overall position. So go go short 2 lots. Okay. So yes, again, if it starts coming down, then you're now making more, a bit more on your hedge. If it goes up, at least you'll get stopped out of your hedge. Again, you don't actually have to put a stop loss on your hedge initially. You can just leave it without a stop. If it carries on going up, 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 you lose on the hedge, but you're still gaining on the 4 lots you've got open. So you're still net long with 2 lots. So you're still making profits. At least you've not missed out completely on the move. Okay, and that's the whole point of the hedge. It's an insurance policy which, if it does carry on going on because you've got a bigger target still, you're still going to be in the market, and you're still going to be making money, more money on your original position, but just a little bit less because you've got two positions short. If it does come down, then again you're hedging, you're de-risking your open long profit sort of thing, because you'll be making some profit on the short. So that's the way to think about it. Again, people say, well, why don't you just bank your profits? Okay, why don't you just bank your profits and then get back in? Well, that's fine. There's 2 things about this. One, what if it just gaps up and fires up? Then you won't get back in. Then you've missed out. Okay, so, and you won't want to buy, because if it gaps right up, then you'll think, oh, where should I buy? Should I not? And so I think you just have to accept that you've missed out if that's the case. Fair enough. You could bank your profits and say, I'm done. I've had enough. Yeah, but this isn't what that's about. This is about if you've got a higher target and you really want to hold on, generally for your higher target. Now, so the other part of this is, well, yeah, but I'll just bank it, and if it comes down, and you hear people say, when it comes down, I'll then buy back in. Well, like I've already said, it might not, of course. It could gap up and then you miss out on the rest of that. Not the end of the world. You've still banked a profit on this, but you've not managed to hold it for your overall targets. So you might kick yourself if that's the case. And the other thing is, you might say, okay, well, if it comes down, then I'll close out. If it comes down, then I'll add. Well, at what point? At what actual point will you add and go back in again? Because you might then start to get clever and think, clear the chart up again, and you might think, well, yeah, I'll just add back in when it comes down. Okay, so let's say it comes down a bit and then it stops around here, but you're still waiting for it to maybe come down to, let's say, oops, these old highs here, but it doesn't, and then it turns back up and off it goes, and you miss out. You're still sitting there patiently waiting for it to come down, but it never actually does it. So again, hedging is, like I say, it's an insurance policy. It's not about outright making money. It's about protecting some of the gains that you've already made and enabling you to stay in that long position that you're in by putting in a quarter size or maybe a half size position. But as long as you accept that if it does carry on going higher, that you're going to make less money than you would have done if you didn't have a hedge. That's the whole point of hedging. It's going to be an element of cost there if it does carry on going higher, but it's protecting you if it comes down. Okay, a little bit of food for thought there for this week. It's a bit technical, and I know I'm only doing it in a 8-minute or so video here, but it might give some of you some food for thought. So you don't want to be hedging all of the time as soon as you get into profits. It's really only if you're in a good profit. So maybe you're up in I don't know, a certain amount risk-reward basis-wise. You're in a good profit. You're not at your overall target, but you started to see sell signals coming in, and you then decide, okay, do I want to put in a quarter size hedge here or whatever? So I would say to you, just to give you an idea, how much hedging do I do? It depends on the year and what sort of trades that I'm in, but I would still say it's a lower percentage of my profitable trades that I actually do put hedges in, but I do use them. And so I don't know, maybe 30% of the time, sometimes, I don't know, somewhere around there. So it depends on the year. Some years I find myself hedging more than others. So it's not something you would do on every trade. It's only on some of those bigger trades that you're in, that you've got a bigger target on. But in the meantime, you do start getting some sell signals coming in. You're in a good profit, healthy profit, and you don't want to give back, let's say, £20,000 of open profit. So you say, okay, well, maybe it's time to actually put a hedge in. Okay, hopefully that helps. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Take care for now.